Hello friends, myself Assistant Professor Vatsal Patel in Civil Engineering Department working at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center Navsari. Today we are going to discuss about introduction to the construction management. So this is the content of our topic for today. So moving forward to the topics. The importance of the machineries for the construction. The importance are working can be completed very fast, cost of project is reduced, less number of laborers are required, excavation work can be carried out rapidly by using power shovel, drag line, etc. Output is higher. Transportation of construction material can be done easily by using truck, wagons, dumpers, etc. Heavy loads can be lifted with the help of tower crane, elevator, etc. Better quality in construction is obtained by using construction equipment. For example, canal lining, concrete spreading, compaction, and finishing are carried out by the lining machine. Finishing and rolling of bituminous road is not possible without the rollers. So we are going to see various type of machineries. So this is the power shovel. You can see the real life image of it. This one is drag line. This one is dumper. This one is tower crane. This one is canal lining machine. This one is concrete mixture. This one is bulldozer. This one is scraper. This one is air compressor. This one is belt conveyor. So now moving towards the classification of construction equipment according to their work cycle. There are mainly three types. First one is intermittent type, in which bulldozer, scraper, power shovel, concrete mixture and drag line are included. In continuous flow type we have air compressor and belt conveyors, and in mixed type of motor graders. So classification of construction equipment according to the nature of the automation. There are mainly three types: manually operated equipment, semi-automatic equipment and fully automatic equipment. So classification of construction equipment according to the standardization of the machine, standard equipment and special equipment. So this is the main topic, difference between the standard and special equipment. So let us discuss it about it. So standard equipments, commonly it is used in all the project, whereas the special equipment is only uses in special cases. Standard equipments are manufactured commonly and easily available from the dealer, whereas the special equipment are manufactured according to the requirements and special order has to be placed for the construction of it. Whereas in standard equipment initial investment is low, whereas special equipment initial investment is high. Resale price is high of standard equipment, whereas resale price of special equipment is low. Delivery is easy and fast for the standard equipment, whereas delivery is difficult and delayed in case of the special equipment. Repairs and spare parts are generally found for the standard equipment, whereas special equipment are most difficult to find. Disposal is easy in case of standard equipment, whereas disposal is difficult in case of special equipment. Unit cost of production is less in case of standard equipment, where in case of special equipment unit cost of production is high. In standard equipment rent is low and reasonable, where in case of special equipment rent is high and unreasonable. In case of standard equipment we can say example canal trimmer is there, and in case of special equipment belt conveyor is there. Next, plant and equipment used in the construction. Various machinery and equipments used in the construction are equipment for excavation, earth moving equipment, hauling equipment, hoisting equipment, conveying equipment, pile driving equipment, drilling equipment, equipment for the production of aggregate, plant for grouting and gunneting, machinery for bituminous road, machinery for concrete works and dredging equipment. So we are going to see each and every one of them. This is the equipment for the excavation. This one is earth moving equipment. This one is hauling equipment. This one is hoisting equipment. This is conveying equipment. This is pumping equipment. This is compacting equipment. This is pile driving equipment. This is drilling equipment. This is equipment for the production of aggregate. This is for the grouting. This is called gunneting. This is machinery for the bituminous road. This is dredging equipment. So, factor affecting the selection of construction equipment. It includes use of standard equipment, size of equipment, uniformity of type, country of origin, initial cost of equipment, availability of spare parts, unit cost of production, operating facility, and suitability for the future. Next one is financial aspect related to the construction equipment. There are mainly two: how to arrange the finance and whether to buy or hire the equipment. So source of equipment, in case of long term we can buy them or we can pay lease for them. So in buying we have to have option like down payment, on loan mobilize, payment in installment, whereas in lease, time lease and leasing with option to buy later is there. So direct purchase advantages and disadvantages. So advantages are equipment is always economically operated, it receives better care and maintenance, it can be available and used at any time. Disadvantages are if equipment become obsolete, it is useless. Large sums involved remain blocked. Tendency to perform work as per available equipment. Disposal is difficult. Equipment may be used beyond its economical life. Equipment may remain in the ideal condition for some time. So, hiring advantages. Little care is required for the maintenance and storage. Desired equipment is available in working order at short notice. Investment cost can be diverted to other better purposes. No fear of obsolescence of equipment. Full advantage is taken by the contractor of the improved technical aspect of the equipment. If found useful, equipment can be bought later. Next one is discount present worth analysis. It involves calculating the present value of all amounts involved in all the alternatives to determine the present worth of the proposed alternative. Decision problems may be of two types: revenue dominated cash flow diagram and cash dominated cash flow diagram. So what is inflow and outflow? Activity that increases cash or source of cash are referred as the cash inflow, and activities that decrease the cash or uses of cash are referred as the cash outflow. So you can find it in the image. So moving towards the methods, revenue profit dominated cash flow diagram. In this type of cash flow diagram, the revenue, profit, salvage value, etc. say inflow will be assigned a positive sign, while the cost outflow will be assigned negative one. Finally, the alternative having the maximum present worth amount should be selected as the best alternative. So particular diagram you can see in the image. Next one is cost dominated cash flow diagram. In this type of diagram, the cost or say outflow will be assigned with the positive sign, whereas the revenue, profit, salvage value or say all inflow etc. will be assigned with the negative one. Finally, the alternative having the minimum present worth amount should be selected as the best alternative. So cash flow is shown in the image or say diagram. Next one is depreciation. It is the gradual loss in the value of property due to its useful life, wear, tear and decay. It is dependent on its original condition, quality of maintenance and mode of use. Usually a percentage of depreciation per annum is allowed, which gradually increases with time. So present value of property is equal to initial cost minus total amount of the depreciation. So types of depreciation: physical depreciation, which include wear and tear from the operation and action of time and other elements. In functional depreciation, inadequacy or suppression or obsolescence. So method for calculating depreciation. There are 5 methods: straight line method, constant percentage method, sinking fund method, sum of digit method and service output method. So first one we are going to see straight line method. In line method, assumption is made that the property loses its value by the same amount every year. Therefore, annual depreciation is counted as annual decrease in property value. So equation is given by capital D is equal to C minus S upon R, where D is equal to annual depreciation, C is equal to original cost, S is equal to scrap value, or say N and M are life in years. Further, depreciation of property after m years is calculated as C minus N upon N into M, or say capital D into M. Then after, for finding the book value after m years, equation is given C minus S upon M into M, or say C minus D into M. By using different equation, straight line method is calculated and value of machinery is fine. Next one is constant percentage method. The assumption made in this is property will lose its value by a constant percentage of its value at the beginning of every year. So it is given by P is equal to 1 minus S upon C whole raised to 1 upon N, where P is equal to percentage rate of annual depreciation, S is equal to scrap value, C is equal to original cost, and N is equal to life in years. If any age of property is m years, the value of property after m years is equal to C into S upon C whole raised to 1 upon N. Next one is sinking fund method. So in this, assumption is made that depreciation of property is equal to the annual sinking fund plus interest on the sinking fund for the that year. If I is the rate of interest, the annual sinking fund installment, say P, to accumulate 1 rupees in m years, P is given by I upon 1 plus I whole raised to N minus 1. If I is the rate of interest and 1 rupees is deposited every year, total sinking fund accumulated at the end of n years, Q is given by 1 plus I whole raised to N minus 1 upon I. So rate of depreciation in n years is counted by P into Q into percentage. So factor affecting cost of owning and operating equipment. Cost of the equipment to the owner, demand of the equipment at the end of its useful life, number of hours it is used per year, numbers of years it is used, severity of condition under which it is used, and state of maintenance and repair. Next, cost to be considered for the owning and operating equipment. Depreciation cost, investment cost. Average investment is given by 1 minus N upon twice N into P. Maintenance and repair cost. Operation cost like repair charges, depreciation on tire and tubes, labor charges, fuel charges, operators and maintenance crew charges, miscellaneous supplies, downtime cost, obsolescence cost, replacement cost. Next one is economic life of construction equipment. Equipment should be replaced under the following circumstances. First one is depreciation, then after downtime, then inadequacy, and last one is normal deterioration. So equipment replacement policy. A firm has to face 3 types of decisions: the replacement of equipment as it wear out, the equipment required for expansion, the replacement of old technology by new, and equipment is replaced before its estimated life because of reduced production cost, reduced fatigue, raise quality, increase output, secure greater convenience, safety and reliability. So what not to consider while selecting an equipment? For equipment in use, original cost, money already spent on repairs and maintenance, unrealistic book value, and for the new equipment, any saving not clearly accessible, and overhead charges. So here I end my session. Thank you all of you.